presentation is videotaped, yeah? So we will have a multimedia representation of the conference after the conference. More than that, we are using professional Adobe technology to produce a super trailer film of EuroSPI over the last 3 days, including this event. Yeah? And what will happen is that, of course, when you do this kind of documentation, we expect also that we get statements of people. Yeah? So this will not be just this program, but we will have people who, where's the mouse of the computer, by the way? Yeah, okay. Where we do interviews, okay? So there will be a standard set of questions, and Eva, where's Eva? Can you bring in Eva? She is the person who is taping the interviews. It's with a simple camera, and you don't worry, because if you make any wrong statement, we do full cutting. Okay? So it's special. and doesn't mean that when you do a negative statement, we cut it out immediately, but but at least we have the right of film cutting. Okay, so we really use this time film cutting and other techniques and produce a trailer film. And this will be put on YouTube, and the dream is that this is the pop video of SPI or something like this. You know? So that is what will come out this year. And again, no other conference ever did that. Okay, so we must do some crazy innovative things. Okay, so these are the questions you will be confronted with. Eva will be outside, yeah, because while we talk here, you will miss probably 5 minutes or so, yeah, from the talks, but at least you can contribute with your own voice, with your personality to this trailer movie. Okay, good. This is therefore, please, we select times when you go out, and Eva will ask exactly these questions, and you come in again. Okay, and we can define a sequence when you will do that. Okay, good. So this is what I had to say at the beginning. Otherwise, we can determine who are the first people to be interviewed. Yeah. So
important thing I learned was the camera is over there, and if you want to be on camera at the scene, you have to be over here. It is a very natural thing. But I have been on stage before large audiences, in theatre, so I know where you have to be, how you present yourself, where you must stand, and how to make interactions. So for the next ISCN, if there is going to be another one coming up, conference, we should remember that. This is, I think, looking something like me. Now that's a chosen image. Anybody like to guess why the image is chosen? Simple. It's my passport. You're not allowed to smile. You're not allowed to. There are lots of things, at least in Ireland, you're not allowed to do a whole range of things. You have to try and look blank so that they capture the features. So that's the passport photograph. I've got my passport with me if you want to verify that and the one in the passport are basically the same. We can also do image matching if you like. Now, I don't know what happens next. I guess I touch things or moves. Let's see. Does that? Oh, that was great. So that worked. So the title 20 years ago, 2013, just in case people are not good at arithmetic, I thought it would be good to kind of put a few things together. And 20 years hence, in other words, I'm going to predict the future. Now, that's going to be difficult. It's hard to tell what tomorrow is going to be, never mind the coffee break. So there were 3 companies in this order with which I was involved. The first one was a company called Generics Software Limited, and set up in 1983. Now, again, if things work properly, okay, so this is where I keep my fingers crossed, we should actually be able to go out and find stuff. Now, I was told by the Apple little thing inside that this is an optimal screen. And so what I have here is just one of the papers. It's the VDM 87, Formal Method of Work, Lecture Notes in Computer Science, using VDM and Object-Oriented Development Method, and so on. And there's an abstract. There's some people there. Perhaps the most significant one was co-founder of Generic Software Limited with me, Hans-Jürgen Kugler, who's still alive, I believe, in Germany. And you can look up all these details if you want. And there is an abstract, and you can go through it and get excited. But this is the thing that I would like to show. In this paper, the Vienna development method, VDM, is related to the various phases of activity throughout the process of software development. And shortcomings of VDM are discussed, combination of object-oriented design techniques, in which my guidelines from, all of this sort of thing. And of course, we were using A at the time. Now, I will probably forget what I'm doing, even to find out how I get back to where I came from. So I might even be done with this. I guess I practiced this all last night. That's why I'm keeping busy. So we set up a company which became very famous, this Generic Software. And we set it up with respect to the emerging dynamic in Europe. And we were, this is extremely famous, but we were also linked in at the same time in the United States. We went to, we made arrangements with Motorola, which I'll mention later, and we were a core partner for that. Now the next one, I'm not going to click on this, it will bring you up stuff, very interesting, but Generic Software Limited crashed, blew up, was destroyed. So the question is, what happened? Where did it go wrong? Anybody like to take a guess? There's no so K, that's Kugler, and me, which is a short word for Airchinnigh. So this is the K, Kugler, and Airchinnigh. And we used this little company, it was a two-man company, to preserve all our valuables. That was its only purpose. Because everybody, all the other employees had all gone and disappeared. And then we came to this funny company that doesn't have a link under it, because you know what it is. It was set up in 1993. And it was that particular company that I set up for one person. It was a one person. And the person I set it up for was a very strange guy who walked in through the door and looked like Joseph Stalin. Richard, come up here and face the camera, please. So I was beginning to think I made a mistake. What happens now? Let's see. There's another way of using this machine. I'm not really sure how I do it. Maybe I click. Ah, was that the right one? Yes, I think clicking seems to work too. So you will recognize this charming individual. You will notice the rings here. If you were to analyze images, if you were to focus, you could start to make connections and understand, you know, is that the same person? This bag is down there, so you can check. That's the little thing I carry around. This is my Mozart tie, which my younger daughter bought for me. Of course, I'm not wearing it now. I've got a very special one for this conference. I'm not going to comment anything on the right-hand side, but this, for me, is really special. It is the sh in the Cyrillic language, Cyrillic, Russian, Bulgarian. I think it was Bulgarian, and it leads in with many interesting forms, and one of them is Jana, which is one. This is the first of Jana. And I like to think that by using that symbol, I remember that there is another half of the human race that are partners, co-equals, working with us. So now you, of course, in ISCN Limited, we understand that perfectly, that we are all equal, no matter what order we're in. But I would like to think that for the next 20 years, we would focus on that as well with respect to all those people who do a lot of work and make it happen, at whatever level. Now, of course, the colors are special. Blood red, I like that, and the yellow. And I like to see it as a linking. So you have things that, when you see there's a good, strong, upright post, and you've got all these things like that. What happens now? So, networking, past and future. And so that you would not forget it, I've got it all decorated out in lovely colors. Right? And you can see now there are 3 of them. Sort of like how to fasten what you want to hold up. And what are we holding up? Well, the net. Work. In. Networking is an old term. So we're already embracing the network. And here we have a human network. We're going to make speeches, we're going to record stuff, it's going to be shared. And you'll always remember that you're part of the network in the best possible sense precisely because you are physical human beings. Oh, sorry. Whenever you network, you're in contact with people who are perhaps not present. But ultimately, the reality, that's why we have the conferences, it's the physical contact, the dancing, the smelling, all of that physical thing bonds with the other experience. So I thought, instead of using this awful EuroSPI logo, I would design my own. Something much more elegant, on a nice white background. And you can see how gorgeous it looks. These are complementary colors. Blue always puts me off with just blue and yellow. We need some white background so that you can highlight. And in the center is the perfect circle. Now I have a board somewhere. I've been telling people how they might like to draw circles. A circle is the perfection. So every time you see that O in the euro, you know that's the community symbol. Wholeness. You don't need the 12 stars. That's just a discrete version. Digitized version. I think there are 12 stars there. Anybody ever count them?
Micheal, we have 14 stars.
You see?
Yeah?
Did you count them?
No, when we created the logo, we made 14 per purpose because we said we include America and Asia. Right?
Well, now, how many people knew that before today? Hands up, please.
No, that is symbolism, which is
No, there is absolutely nobody here who knew that.
yeah, but this is the thing people are interested in, symbolism, right? Okay.
Isn't that amazing? 14. It's got 14 up there. So, the first place, as I said, was Generic Software Limited. This is the actual address. It's still on the internet. You can still, not the company. You can look up and find details in the offices. And the things we were particularly remarked on, as I said, was the Vienna development method, which of course was originally developed in Vienna, and the Ada programming language, which was an important military language for the United States, and I became president of Ada Europe, which was the European side of what was going on in the United States at that time. And of course the years, you're getting close to the sense of what the years mean. You get 88, 89, 1991, and you will find out. So, now if I click on this, I know time is probably running out. Only 2 minutes left.
More?
This is Kipper. So these are the authors. The symposium was held on that date. These are the people who were the editors of the journal. And this, of course, is myself. Kugler was one of the people who was writing the paper, but I was one of the editors of this. And I'm sure that Björner and Jones are still there. Björner became my PhD examiner, so this was also a good thing to have. There was a relationship. Oh, what happened there? Oh yes, if you click on it, you will get to that. So I clicked on the wrong thing. Nice. I think we might be in trouble now, boys and girls. I've really gone and done something bad, haven't I? Let's do that. That still works. So I must avoid clicking on any of those things. Yes. SCM SIG-ETA letters, volume 3, number 4, January, February 1984. And this is the very famous paper that I wrote. Somebody misspelled my name, the N instead of the H. ETA packages and the user's conceptual model. So at that time I was, and still am, very concerned about how we think, what kind of concepts we use, what kinds of thought as I said, there was a collapse, and anybody, we're now up to 1991, I think. Why this? What happened around 1990? Well, there was a thing called the Gulf War, the first Gulf War. And at the beginning of that period, when the war broke out in August, prior to that, around the year of the month of March or April, we signed a put option agreement with Motorola to buy our company, and the put option was to be exercised in the September, so that both parties would consider their options. It's a standard kind of thing. Unfortunately, in August of that year, something broke out, and that was the Gulf War. And immediately, Motorola exercised a kill, and that killed the company. We had to preserve, as I say, our assets, and those assets were put into a tiny little company called Kugler and Marketing Limited. All the employees had to get other jobs. So sad thinking about these things. That's my butt. So networking, apps for the future. I hope I'm getting to the end. It looks good. Apps is the kind of thing that we're all talking about. So this is what I was saying about ourselves and Motorola. The other thing that I remember well, so it's part of my experience. I mean, why should I be president of this wonderful corporation group or whatever? I do think I have certain credentials. I have been in the field. It's my memory, and I was trying to find out evidence for this, that the 140 character set was discovered, and I remember it well, at least in my viewpoint, when I was there working with Kugler in Motorola, and they had this, they were trying to do this thing for the mobile stuff, and they had everything working perfectly, but there was a little section on the side which was of absolutely no use, and they didn't know what to do with it. So check characters or something like that. It just seemed like it was there. Well, that's how they introduced text messaging. The thing which was useless has turned out to be Twitter's fortune. That's what happened. Now, I was trying to look up the original documents. I had left them at home, and I wasn't able to verify it in time for this conference. The other thing with which we were to be engaged with around the time of the Gulf War was, of course, Iridium, the famous satellite system that was to be launched. And we did go down under very strict security and heard about what was planned. But as I say, everything changed after the Gulf War. And that's a nice picture. There must be something next. Here's the plus plus, so I'm finishing. So what's going to happen next? For this corporation, ISCN, and all the lovely people who are attached to it. I mean, you must be attached to it, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. So I thought what we were missing, and I was going to bring it up during the conference, but I said there are certain things that go with all these specifications, and that we all know, and I've heard people speaking about them. It's these things that we used to use called formal methods. That is, mathematical, logical things that you might use. And I thought to myself, well, I just used the B method as a simple example. I mentioned EEM. And I said, if you were to use this, where would you use it with respect to the conference? Now, this is an easy answer. safety critical systems, they all have these very formal procedures as well, well known, that are probably automated. So you check all kinds of things. And I said to myself, if I were to hope that we would have another strand in our conference for the future, there might be a serious formal methods strand. Okay, I'm finishing. I said 3D, 4D printers. I prefer the 4D printers. The 3D printers only produce objects in 3D. Self-evident. What you need is another dimension for intelligence. Imagine if the 3D objects were intelligent.
You mean like in the newspaper of Harry Potter, where the things move, huh?
Strike that out of the record. Yes, we do have these things. The objects that we build, like the phones, they already have it. You just push buttons and they connect out to send messages. So we do have the 4D already.
Okay.
We have it already. The object is there, but then there's these signals that go out. So we do have 4D objects. And that dimension can be used in all kinds of significant ways. And of course they are. So I thought how to finish. Well, of course, as you can see, the many devices when we were talking about the pacemaker wants to update the software online. And here at the back, please stand up and take a bow. He said, obviously, between two heartbeats. That's when you do it, right? Pull back. So in other words, you have also the possibility, right? Getting it in, waiting, patient not dead. Great. Put it in, heart stop. Uh-oh. Then you do the, and you're back to zero, back to where you were. Isn't that wonderful? Simple idea. Why does it work? Because the heart is a physical thing. Most of us have. I'm not going to say all of us have, but there may be people here who don't have hearts at all. But politicians generally don't have hearts, but others perhaps have hearts. And I thought, how to finish up, and I'm finishing up. I mean, I hope that I finish up. I thought, again, from another conversation, look at the weather. Everything is chaotic. We don't know what season we're in. So this is the world we're going to live in. And this chaos, this chaotic thing, is not bad. It's just it. It exists. We can't change it. So how do we use it? How do we fit in? And I thought that was the new world of apps. Is this the end? For me. Yes. Soon. Yes, of course I'm getting old. You can see that. I might live another 1,000 years, but there's an ultimate sort of, starting and whoa, bell curve, like. So when you get this Gaussian, right, and you're talking about all your stuff, you say, remember, that's the way it's going to happen in life too for you. You start out like a baby, and you go, whoa! You reach Richard's point, and then, whoa! You get down to the president. It's so evident. It's like a universal phenomenon. You can do some phase shifting if you like, but the result is just going to be the same. Phase shifting might be something you do in hospitals. You're here, and then you're phase shifting. The result is the same. Okay. And there's my last slide, I hope. Networking, the future belongs to the young. But when I say the young, I mean
it's history. Good.
You have to say it sadly.
So,
I don't work in
okay.
Britain.